We have some shocking news. Donald Trump has just effectively legalized segregation for federal contractors by signing an executive order to remove a civil rights era ban on segregated areas like drinking fountains, transportation, and housing.
The far left is on his app who said voting for Kamala Harris will be the same thing as voting for Donald Trump. I want you to look me dead in my eye and tell me Kamala Harris would have brought back segregation in federal contracting. Look me dead in my eye and tell me that the black lady would have brought back segregation in America.
So wait, let me get this straight. Y'all thought we were going to be upset about him trying to bring back segregation? Go on and do it. Do it.
Hey, besties. Welcome back to another deep dive into the complexities of American history and the present-day reactions that have everyone talking. Today, we're discussing something that's been taking over social media, segregation in America, and how Black Americans aren't worried while white people are freaking out on TikTok. This is a topic filled with history, irony, and a whole lot of truth, so grab a drink, settle in, and let's break it all down.
We have some shocking news. Donald Trump has just effectively legalized segregation for federal contractors by signing an executive order to remove a civil rights era ban on segregated areas like drinking fountains, transportation, and housing. Even though the Civil Rights Act still makes segregation technically illegal, the federal government is ultimately responsible for its enforcement and investigation into any violations, and Trump signing this order is a clear message that the government will not step in. A spokesperson for the General Services Administration was quoted referring to the prior ban on segregation as a, quote, damaging policy of the past administration. Several federal agencies have already begun recognizing these changes, including the Department of Homeland Security and the National Institute of Health, both of which have issued notices advising employees not to consider the prior segregation ban going forward. This is only the latest of Trump's attacks on DEI, but this order goes a step further given the history our country has with segregation.
You can't continue to let this go on. I can't continue to let this go on. We can't continue to let this go on. We cannot continue to walk around with our eyes shut and our ears closed. Okay? What is it going to take? We have come way too far to have society be set back 75 years. 75 years. What are we doing with these these executional or these executive orders removing policies that allow for segregation? What are we doing? Oh, yes, it's government contractors. You know who those government contractors are? SpaceX, Tesla, Amazon probably. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors and all these MAGA folks falling for the okie doke. It has to stop. And in the latest news, guess who's overseeing the housing board? Oh yeah, Musk. Musk, along with his buddies, I think it's Plute, the head of Plute Homes. And now they're all buying up a bunch of stock because it's like $6 a pop. They're taking everything. They're taking everything. When in history have we had a president incite this amount of fear among so much of the country? I can't recall it in my lifetime. Yet Dems and Republicans have never really gotten along. Obviously, they're on different sides of the aisle. But society's divided. And for the people that continue to say it's just the Democrats who hate the Republicans and they don't want to see it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of brainwashed bullshit. And it's going to take some serious shit to go down for them to open their eyes. The thing I love about this TikTok platform is that we can continue to share and talk and communicate with each other on the things that are going on so that we can continue to create awareness. You may not want to hear it. I get it. But you need to be aware. Because I can tell you right now, if you search Republicans that regret their vote, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of videos. Check it out.
Before we jump into why some white people are losing their minds over the idea of segregation possibly making a return, let's take a quick look back at what segregation actually was. For decades, America was legally divided by race, especially in the South. Jim Crow laws kept Black Americans from using the same facilities, attending the same schools, and even sitting in the same parts of restaurants as white Americans. Black Americans were given separate but supposedly equal accommodations, which, let's be real, were never equal. Segregation meant discrimination was legal, and Black communities were forced to create their own spaces, businesses, and neighborhoods, many of which thrived despite the hardships. Fast forward to the civil rights movement of the 1960s, and segregation was finally dismantled legally. But as we all know, just because something is no longer legal doesn't mean it disappears overnight. Racism and systemic inequalities have continued, just in different forms, like redlining, underfunded schools in Black neighborhoods, and employment discrimination.
Good morning again to everyone. This is Doc Angela, and I felt very compelled to do this very brief post after reviewing a social media page where one of my very, very dear patients posted a concern in regards to President Trump removing the ban of segregation from federal contracts. So I'm going to try to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, okay? So just follow me briefly. The Civil Rights Act was enacted approximately, I think, in July of 1964, signed into law by President Lyndon Johnson, okay? And basically, it was written to prevent segregation and discrimination based on race, creed, age, gender, disability, etc. Okay, I think you get that. So, in a lot of your federal contracts, there had to be clauses in there that made sure that there was no discriminatory practices based on bathrooms, restaurants, or anything else that was based on any type of discriminatory practice. Well, now President Trump has issued an executive order to remove that ban on segregation. Okay? Now, if that does not move you or concern you, then you truly do not understand what democracy means, okay? Now, just because he has written that executive order in the federal contracts or to federal contractors, that does not mean that that supersedes state and federal law. But here would be a few of my questions, okay? First of all, we know that the FBI, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, also serves the purpose of being able to investigate based on civil rights violations. So my question would be, how would they be able to do that if he puts an executive order like this? Oh, that's right. Because he aims to try to control the Justice Department. Okay, so maybe that's the answer for that one. That's my opinion. The second concern would be anyone who is receiving any type of federal contracting money, how is that now going to migrate over to them? Okay. Now, how much more of our democracy needs to be challenged before we wake up? Now, here comes, I'm trying to think of a nice way to be able to say this, but here goes. I am so thankful that for me, I can only speak for me here, I love and like people based on who you are from within. I have white friends, black friends, yellow friends, whatever. I don't discriminate to anyone, okay? In healthcare, that would be detrimental. And believe it or not, as a black doctor, the majority of my patients are white, okay, or of non-African American descent. Okay, because Huntsville is predominantly, white. Okay, my neighborhood is predominantly white. My neighbors are absolutely wonderful. Okay, my patients are absolutely exceptional. And I am so grateful that for the patients who honor me by coming to see me, that they trust that I'm going to do a good job because I love what I do and I want to do the best job that I can in serving the people. My concern is in regards to President Trump that I never hear is, he never talks about God. He's on the narcissistic side, and narcissistic people keep up a lot of confusion because the attention always has to be on them. And my concern also is that, are you making decisions based on the whole of America, which encompasses everyone? Because the White House was built by Black folks. I hope he does know that, okay? And that the Statue of Liberty was given to us by another country, okay? All right. And that the backbone of America is built on everyone participating. But here would be my prediction and a concern. We are now dealing with countries who are involved in war, Russia and Ukraine. But your strength is in the foundation of your own house. So if you are breaking down the foundation of your own house by having Doge go in and massively cut all of these jobs, now don't get this wrong. I do understand that if there is waste, fraud, and abuse, yeah, it needs to be done, but prove it. Because right now, we really haven't heard any report by Elon Musk or anybody that says, hey, I have definitively found this, and this is why we're doing this. They're not going through and carving it with a scalpel. You're doing it with a hatchet and a machete, okay? So when Americans are in an uproar and they are not steady and feel that life is going okay for them, and yet you want the military and everybody to be on board and one accord, I think we need a little bit more information and education about things, and we're not really hearing that. From my understanding with a lot of the people that I know, friends as well as patients, is that they feel that they're just getting a bombardment of emails without any open communication about what's going on, or maybe any contribution from people who may have been in it for a long time. So democracy is challenged. I was trying to make sense of something that still does not make sense to me, but these are my thoughts. These are my feelings. I'd love to hear your comments. So, I'm not debating that there's some things that don't need to be cleaned up. Definitely. But is this the way to do it? Definitely not. Anyway, everybody, try to have a good day. But just remember this. God is bigger than any problem that you have. Have an absolutely great day.
Now, let's talk about what's happening on social media. Why are so many white people freaking out about segregation now? Recently, there's been an increase in discussions around Black-only safe spaces, Black-owned businesses, and the push for Black Americans to build generational wealth without relying on white institutions. Some Black creators have even joked about how they wouldn't mind going back to segregation, as long as Black people are the ones calling the shots this time. White people, on the other hand, are losing it on TikTok. They're posting emotional rants, claiming that segregation is returning and asking, what happened to equality? Which is ironic, considering that Black Americans were never truly treated equally, even after legal segregation ended. A big reason for this panic is the loss of control. If Black Americans start focusing on supporting only Black businesses, educating their children in Black-led schools, and building their own self-sustaining communities, white people suddenly feel excluded. But here's the thing. Black people aren't trying to be separate because they hate white people. They just don't want to rely on a system that has historically oppressed them.
So wait, let me get this straight. Y'all thought we were going to be upset about him trying to bring back segregation? Go on and do it. Do it. And make sure you notify the NFL. Make sure you notify the NBA. Make sure now. Make sure. Don't slip up on that now. Make sure you give us back our athletes. Go ahead. The NFL and the NBA draft coming up, we want to make sure that they're aware that segregation is back. So whites only, okay, on your team, Roger Goodell, make sure, all right? Make sure, okay? Since you had them up in there, make sure. You had them at the Super Bowl now. Make sure you ain't shaking no hands of our peoples. Make sure you ain't shaking them hands. Make sure, because our peoples is the ones putting me. No, never mind, bye.
It's clear that the people that are in charge are outdated as to how we think as far as black people, because this whole segregation shit that they spewing, who is it affecting? Who is it hurting? Like, we never wanted to be integrated with y'all to begin with. We just wanted to have our own and be treated as fucking humans, to not be fucking slaves. It was never to be integrated with y'all. And don't get me wrong, there's some people like Candace Owens and Jeff Meade that wants to be in close proximity with white people, but even to this day, we segregate ourselves subconsciously. In Detroit, growing up, bro, if you didn't have your L's and everything was together, crazy phone, but yeah, you're not even driving past 8 Mile. To this day, there's people that be like, bro, I don't cross 8 Mile, and that's just Warren, because they know how Warren is, so we subconsciously segregate ourselves. Only thing that's going to show us is, okay, that's where we're not going to spend our money at. That's where we're not going to entertain ourselves. Sundown towns still exist to this day. How is those even legal? So segregation is a big scare. Y'all are trying to get us to be riled up so bad, and we are not fucking budging, because when the last time you hear black people be like, yo, I want to be invited to a white person's cookout? Never. Only thing we want is to get our education, get our money up, and chill. That's it. It was never like, y'all, I don't understand it. I really don't. We're not missing nothing. We create our own. If you leave us be, we will create a fucking utopia. But you know what's going to happen? The same thing always going to happen. Somehow, miraculously, the shit gets set on fire. Like, it's going to get destroyed miraculously if y'all leave us, because we are resilient. We are good. It's not hurting us. So I just find it funny how out of date y'all are, because nothing that y'all doing is working, and it's funny at this point. It's just funny.
Let's be real. Black Americans have never fully depended on white America to thrive. Historically, Black communities have always had to build their own in order to survive. From Black Wall Street in Tulsa to the many Black-led movements that pushed for self-sufficiency, Black people have constantly created spaces where they could be safe and successful without needing white validation. In 2024, with the rise of Black entrepreneurship, Black social media spaces, and even Black-centered entertainment, Black Americans are realizing that they have more power than ever to create their own opportunities. There's no fear, just focus. So when white people on TikTok start panicking about Black people choosing to distance themselves, it's really just exposing their own fears of no longer being the default. Black people aren't worried because this is nothing new.
So they think black people really give a damn about segregation? Like, for real? Like, we welcome that shit. Like, hello? We know the power of our black dollar. We ain't no fools. We are perfectly okay with that. I guarantee y'all business is going to shut the fuck down, though. So fuck with it if you want to. We ain't suffering. You are. Like, we always got somewhere to shop, and half of the people are not going to adhere to it anyway because of the fact that they know that their businesses are going to go down. Ain't nobody finna do no stupid shit like that. And let me tell you something. If we going back to colored-only bathrooms and white-only bathrooms, our shit gonna be clean. Because one thing about black people, we some clean motherfuckers. So I don't know. Now, I don't know about the other ones because the ones that I know that work with me don't even wash their motherfucking hands. So let's be honest. Like, I don't know what they think. I don't know what they think they doing. But I'm here to tell them that they not doing what they think they doing. Because we ain't going to be bothered whatsoever. As a matter of fact, run us all our shit back. As a matter of fact, run us all our shit back.
The man is trying to put martial law into place. Okay, he's trying to put it into place, and he's trying to get those of us that are melanated upset about it so that way we can go out and riot so he can have a reason to enact martial law. I really wish y'all would have listened to us when they overturned Roe v. Wade. Because I said, and I have the video to prove it, I said that once they overturn Roe v. Wade, they're coming after everything else. Y'all didn't want to believe it because those of y'all who were homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynist, anything of that nature, y'all were salivating at the thought of us suffering. Just happy about it. And now because some of y'all are sitting up here being affected by it personally, now y'all want us to just go out and riot with y'all. Absolutely not. That man just just put into law that we gonna have colored and whites only fountains again, according to him. Like, black people, continue to stay your ass at home. Continue to stay at home, tend to your families, tend to your dogs, your cats, whatever it is, and mind your business. They want us to get upset so that way they can say this is the reason why we have to enact martial law, because they're mad that we're not mad about it. Y'all had the opportunity to stand with us November 4th and y'all chose not to. We tired. We done.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Why do some white people feel threatened by black communities wanting their own spaces? For centuries, white America has excluded black people from resources, opportunities, and power. Now, when black people decide to create their own spaces without asking for permission, suddenly it's a problem. But here's the kicker. White people have had their own exclusive spaces forever. Country clubs, private schools, gated communities, all designed to keep black people out. So when black people start saying, cool, we'll just do our own thing, it's interesting how some white people feel like they're suddenly being discriminated against.
I may lose my little bit of following, but it's okay because Trump is trying to bring back segregation and I have to pick a side, so I choose mine. I have a few rules that we need to implement this time because last time y'all didn't play fair, but we got some new rules that we need to implement and I'm here to show you. Starting strong at number 1, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but all invites to the cookout have been revoked effective immediately. Cookout is one of the most sacred events that black people have, and some of y'all been getting invited, and I told y'all that they keep getting invited, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and revoke all access to all cookouts nationwide. No more access to cookouts. I'm so sorry to tell you. I know this is going to hurt, but I have to go ahead and do it. We're taking back all of our language. Yes, all of our ebonics, our AAVE, we're taking it back. So no more yes, no more sis and spill that tea and clot that tea. It's gone. That's a wrap. Next on the list is the black style. As you can see, black people have their own specific style. It's our own thing, our own way of doing stuff, and y'all have been getting it and y'all have been taking it, and I don't understand why. If y'all really don't care for us like that, I don't know why y'all want to be like us. So we're gonna go ahead and take back our style. Just go ahead and pluck that. Thank you so much. The style taken back. Goodbye. Lastly, we're going to be taking back our style of dance, because as you can see, we do have a very specific style of dance. We do it in a very specific way, and you guys have been trying to take it for a long time, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and take that back. I'm so sorry. We're going to go ahead and take our dance style back because you guys have just been taking enough from us. I know this is going to be hard for everybody to hear, but at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for our own groups. So, you know, these are the things that we have to do. This is what the president has decided to implement, so good luck, Dewey.
Rolling back segregation. What are we going to do?
Not one goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing. I speak for myself, just my personal opinion. But I've been speaking about this and I spoke to leaders. And everybody I speak to say it's probably going to be the best thing that ever can happen to black people. A mandate for us to unite without consumption power. We got the greatest consumption power in the world. And you gonna mandate us to unite? Yeah. Ever since we integrated, our economic state has been worse. Our families have been torn apart. And when we made a decision to chose that, we got what we got now. And everybody that I see, that's why you don't hear no outcry from black people about this new executive order about segregation. I don't think we give a damn about it. I know I certainly don't. I ain't for it. I ain't pushing for it. But I ain't to get it. Correct me and tell me if I'm wrong in the comments.
So where do we go from here? The reality is, Black Americans aren't going to stop building for themselves. More people are waking up to the idea that true progress isn't about waiting for a system to change. It's about creating new systems that work for us. White people who feel panicked about this have two choices: support or step aside. Instead of worrying about whether Black people want their own spaces, maybe focus on dismantling the racism that made them necessary in the first place.
I'm sorry, y'all. I just laughed. I'm sorry, y'all. I just laughed. We went from almost having a biracial Black woman as the first of all of those categories to be president, all the way back to segregation in like less than 6 months. There's a reason why I laughed at this. Just a quick note from NPR that says because of the change of this administration, the federal government no longer explicitly prohibits contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Which I was wondering, I don't know, this is random, but we still using drinking fountains? I mean, that's cool. No shade to the drinking fountain users. Shout out to y'all and your thriving community. I was just wondering what was going on. A lot of experts are saying that these are largely symbolic moves, but the symbolism is deep and is picked up by the folks who would be looking for this sort of thing. But here's why I laughed. Y'all remember that one summer the black folks decided we weren't going to make up a dance for any of the trending songs? Y'all remember how funny that was? Like, what would these places be without us? Like, you're so upset. Oh, I don't want anybody who doesn't look like me in X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. I guess. Like, I was listening the other day to a video of an elder talking about the desegregated lunch counter that he finally got to sit at, and he ordered the food, and the food was nasty. He's like, I did all of this. I did all this fighting to sit at this lunch counter just to eat nasty food. And I laugh because I'm like, what would any of these places be specifically without black people? Like, y'all hate black people so much that you will throw yourselves into a box of sameness. To do what? Just to say that? Meanwhile, almost everything that is good about this country is from marginalized communities. From the food, from the swagger, from the outfits, the art, the sayings, the film. And I laugh because what is essentially being done or suggested would only benefit marginalized communities, because we'd be like, okay, we know where we're not wanted. We know where not to spend. We know where not to buy. You can ask Target about that. What would ultimately happen is that we would just support our own. It would unfortunately force us to support our own, which we needed to be doing in the first place anyway. That's a whole different video for another time. But we would just support our own. We will just thrive on our own. I'm not worried about this. I know that the lawyers and the legal folks have this situation like on lock, but it's just the efforts to march us back to a time where so many people weren't even viewed with any type of human dignity and respect, where the mediocre reigns supreme. But at least I'll know where I'm not wanted, because I'm only going to go where I'm wanted. I'm only going to support the folks who want me there. So have fun with this.
Adios, besties. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you see the hypocrisy in how white people react to this conversation? Have you seen the TikToks of people freaking out? Let's chat. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and stay unbothered.